When Legacy started, I already had a connection to Andrea Kohlberg. We had worked together before in capacity as her having been an event producer and me being a customer, and we'd built a strong relationship. She'd come and coached with my teams before. And when she approached me and asked whether I'd be involved in Legacy, there was absolutely no way that this wasn't something very special that I wanted to be involved in. There's a ethos around Legacy that is just unique as an event provider. That emphasis on growing leaders for life, that they see the whole rather than just as a competitive sport, is really important to me. That sort of family atmosphere that's promoted, and also there's a massive emphasis on customer service, which a lot of my parents have really seen a kind of contrast to perhaps some of the other events, cheer and dance events that they've had the opportunity to go to. There's a real sense of the customer experience, both athlete but also parents and spectators, and I feel very proud to be a member of it.
We all know each other from way back in cheer day, and but the majority of the judges are all cheerleaders anyway, ex-cheerleaders, so they know the game, they know what they're looking at, they know what they're marking, and they've all had training and credentialing from Andrea, because she's handpicked them and trained them herself.
Looking at a lot of things, the logistics of moving the floors, the logistics of getting our rig teams, we're doing set design, we're doing refreshing of our equipment to keep that fresh, we're doing staff training, we're always training new staffs at any event. We have veteran staff and new staff, so we're training new people. We're looking at the public relations side of things and how to deal with the press releases. We're looking at health and safety issues. We could sit here and talk for 3 weeks about all of the things that go on.
I think one of the greatest things about cheerleading is not measured in the trophies or the medals or the championship jackets. It really is measured by the relationships that you build and the life skills that you build.
We met cheerleading, so like I joined a cheerleading team. I'm from New Zealand, and I'd come over, I didn't know anyone in London, and I was kind of like lonely and bored, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do an activity, and I saw this ad for cheerleading. Went along, and Rick was on the team, and initially I didn't really think much of him. He was just another team member, and eventually we became friends and got into a relationship. And then like 4 years later, he proposed to me at a cheerleading competition that Andrea, who runs Legacy, was the organizer of that event. And so he had to like ask her permission to do it at the awards ceremony. And she basically said, she better say yes, because if she ruins my awards ceremony, like I will not forgive you. So that was pretty exciting. Like all these thousands of small, like sparkly children looking at me, and I was like, yes. I did say yes.
What led me into the sport was a buddy of mine, Sanjay Salat. He knew a girl who was doing some workshops for cheerleading just to have a fun play around. And he was like, he didn't want to be the only guy, so he insisted I come along with him. And it turned out that that young lady was Joey Gamper, who is also working here now with Legacy. And she's, at the end of that one-day workshop, like that fun day that she was having, she came up to us and she was like, so I'm holding a tryout and I really want it to be co-ed, so we need some boys. And then she fluttered her eyelids and was like, would you join team? And I was like, well, you're really gorgeous. I don't really have a choice, you know? And it was hooked straight away. I was a circus performer before that, so I had kind of that style in my life where, you know, I like doing those sorts of tricks and flips and stuff. I was an awful dancer at the time, but that kind of fixed throughout my life. Yeah, we were working with City Stars for a while, and then I became injured in my accident, which it really took me out of the cheerleading world for quite a while I was recovering or thinking I was going to recover. And then again with City Stars, I tried out partner stunting in my wheelchair. Like it was about a year and a half later, and I was just so missing it that I got back into it that way. And then as soon as I heard Ali and Andrea were back in the country about to run another competition, I was like, I want to be on staff, I want to be there, those girls are amazing. So that's what led me here.
And so we're now married, and Rick was actually disabled about 6 years ago, and he had been doing cheerleading, and then he became disabled and had a period where he was very depressed and upset and things were really bad, and then he eventually got back into cheerleading through a bit of encouragement from me and friends and stuff, and he has now performed in the UK and in America, and I've been there kind of every step of the journey. I've been his support and his back spot physically. I've been on the performing mat with him, helping hold the stunts up. And we're now part of a group called Paratier International, which we've started. It's a charity, and we're trying to promote a new division of cheerleading called Paratier, which is integrated teams of disabled and non-disabled athletes. And he's kind of pioneering that and leading on that, and it's really exciting. We've had like inquiries from lots of different countries and people wanting to learn more about it and how they can get involved, so it's really exciting.
I'm coaching Unity All-Stars Gold, and we're a special needs team. Each athlete is an individual, and you've really got to understand them before you start to choreograph a routine. So what might work for one athlete might not work for the other. So it's a really long process of trying to, get to know each individual athlete and then tailor the routine to try and meet their needs, and then also putting everyone together. It's a really difficult balance to get, trying to give individual attention as well as thinking, well, actually at the end of the day, I want them to perform a routine just like everybody else.